Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada,
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Okay, we are going to read and understand from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, third chapter, text number 39. I have to share the screen if it's not put on. Okay. Ateya Danya Bhagavantaitam Yad Vasudeva Kilalokanathe Kurvante Sarvatmakam Atmabhavam Nayatra Guhya Parivarta Yugraha. This is a very powerful verse. Word to word meaning, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Ataha, thus, iha in this world, danya, successful, bhagavantaha, perfectly cognizant, ittam, such, yet what, vasudeve, unto the personality of God, akhila, all embracing, lokanathe, unto the proprietor of all the universes, kurvanti inspires, sarvatmakam, 100%, atma, spirit, bhavam, ecstasy, na, never, yatra, wherein, guhyaha, again, parivartaha, repetition, ugraha, dreadful. Translation: only by making such inquiries in this world can one be successful and perfectly cognizant, for such inquiries invoke transcendental ecstatic love unto the personality of Godhead, who is the proprietor of all the universes, and a guarantee sent person immunity from the dreadful reputations of birth and death. Purport: the inquiries of the sages headed by Shaunaka are herewith praised by Suta Goswami on the merit of their transcendental nature. As already concluded, only the devotees of the Lord can know him to a considerable extent, and no one else can know him at all. So the devotees are perfectly cognizant of the spiritual knowledge. The personality of Godhead is the last word in the absolute truth. Impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma Supersoul are included in the knowledge of the personality of Godhead. So one who knows the personality of Godhead can automatically know all about him, his multipotencies and his expansions. So the devotees are congratulated as being all successful. A 100% devotee of the Lord is immune to the dreadful material miseries of repeated birth and death. Om Ajnanatimandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunnivitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rup Kadamayam Dadati Svadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadagamanam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagritatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pranam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripri Vancha Kalpatarvesta Kupasande Vyevacha Patitanam Bhavani Vyavashtam Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karati Vacham Bangalam Reti Gare Katam Vande Shri Gurum Dintaranam Paramananda Madam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Nirachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathataya Namo Namaha Atha Danya Bhagavanta Ittam Yad Vasudeva Akila Lokanathe Kurvanti Sarvatmakam Atma Bhavam Na Yatra Bhuyaha Parivarta Ugraha. Only by making such inquiries in this world can one be successful and perfectly cognizant. For such inquiries invoke transcendental ecstatic love unto the personality of Godhead, who is the proprietor of all the universes, and guarantee sent person immunity from the dreadful reputation of birth and death. So today we are very fortunate. One, because that somehow or the other Krishna has enabled us, empowered us, and brought us all together on the Sunday morning program. Okay, once again, it's a very great privilege we all have. We are being given a chance to hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the words of Srila Sukadeva Goswami in the Srimad Bhagavatam pages, and his associates, Sutta Goswami, Shaunaka Rishi, and many other great Vaishnavas and Acharyas. Srila Prabhupada is just enabling us, very costless, showering his glance on us so that we can perfect our life just by simply hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. We are dealing with, actually, we are coming to almost the nearing end of the chapter. This chapter constitutes Krishna as the source of all incarnations, right? The focus is always on essentials, whether it's a spiritual or material in its nature or in practice. What is that? The fundamental element and essentials of spiritual practice or material practice is Shravanam, to hear, to make inquiries. From the start of the day till we end up in the bed, or maybe even after that, this inquiry keeps going on and on and on. Whether you like it or whether you don't, right? This is made as a mandatory procedure or a practice for our own self-survival, right? However, these inquiries must be very useful in understanding our goal of life. Not the goal of our existence, but it's a goal of life. Today, somehow God has given, Krishna has given us all parts of our body intact, right? We have got strong working senses, we have got strong physical abilities working. How many of them in this world are physically challenged or mentally challenged? But practically speaking, we take many things for granted, which is given to us, thinking nothing is going to happen to us, nothing is going to even contemplate on this world. That which comes in between my power of enjoying desires, which I wanted it to, right? Nevertheless, you see, but by the grace of the Lord, we have the capabilities, we have the enablement to understand, to discuss, to disseminate the knowledge which is acquired through the senses, karmendriya and jnanendriya, right? Both the visual senses and the conceptual senses, to make our lives fruitful, at least in terms of our sense enjoying propensities. However, as devotees of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, right, we are only focused on, our only concerns are, our only desires or thoughts or causes is to make appropriate inquiries, which will help us progress in our spiritual path. Rest of our life is a fixed term mutual benefit fund. By default, it is all fixed. We cannot change it. It is dealt based on many things, maybe in the past life karma, or group propositions coming in this life, or some good tidings coming by some unknown blessings, right? We are practicing devotees. As a practicing devotee, we must make such inquiries in this world. Only then, as Prabhupada says in the purport and the translation, that in this world one can be successful and perfectly cognizant. For such inquiries, invoke transcendental ecstasy of love unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the proprietor of all the universe. The Lord is beautifully coined by the name Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. That is how they call Tirupati Balaji. Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. When he says that the Lord is all pervading, the Lord is the proprietor of all the universes, Jagannatha, means, Prabhupada says, the personality of Godhead is the last word in the absolute truth. If there is something called absolute truth, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is the absolute truth, number one and the first and last. Impersonal Brahman or as Paramatma, they are included in this package of knowledge. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti sabhyate. All inside the Supreme Personality of Godhead as personal Brahman, right? Personal Bhagavan. So the devotees are by default congratulated for being successful. Why? Because they know that 10%, 100% as a devotee of the Lord, he is completely given a super kavacha, like a Narsimha kavacha or a Narayana kavacha. He is being given a beautiful, secured platform. The platform is that you are immune to that, that you will not come into this cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease again and again. Because this is the highest enablement of the entire material energy, right? The material miseries are manifold in its nature. In spite of all these difficulties, the immunity is given to us by the Supreme Lord through his wonderful devotees, right? We should understand two important things. Krishna is very clear on his words and he is clear on his promises. If we are ready to accept him as our boss, you don't need to work hard. That's the stop point. If you still have a lingering doubts, whether he will help us, whether he will not, or let me try to use my intelligence, which company gives me more money, one day let me take a break because I'm working all the 7 days, 6 days at least I should work, and then one day I take a break. So why go to the temple, or why go to be with the devotees? Why should I associate? What's the gain in that? That's a very mean mentality. You are not looking at a long-term plan. You are looking very short-sighted. There are great devotees in the annals of the histories who have done many levels of austerity, many levels of tapasya, many difficulties which they have come across. There are beautiful pastimes. You should hear the Bhagavatam, the devotees, the Puranas, so many wonderful pastimes, right? Whether it's Mirabai or Karmeti Bai, there is a beautiful story about in Rajasthan. There's a very beautiful story about one devotee of the Lord. Her name is Karmeti Bai. I'm just taking a detour, but I'll come back. This Karmeti Bai is a she is super rich. She is a local king's daughter. And the king wanted her. Anyone knows about this pastime? About Karmeti Bai? If you know, just raise a hand. I want to know if anyone knows.
I know about Mirabai, but not the Karmeti Bai.
Mirabai is also very connected to the Rajasthan folklore. And Karmeti Bai is another wonderful devotee of the Lord. What she did was, from her childhood days, she was only contemplating that she will get married and connected with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. But however, her father had different plans. He's a rich king. He's one of the king of the local kings, whatever in those days. So he made sure that this daughter of hers, she was very beautiful, extremely beautiful, just like Meera. So she was beautiful and her thoughts were only to serve the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. And she had a small vigraha of Shri Krishna in her private bedroom. But still, her only thoughts was Vrindavan. I need to go to Vrindavan. I need to serve the Lord. I need to be his servant. I want to be with him all the time. But her father wanted to quickly get her married. In the olden days, there used to be called child marriage. So the children, they were already married when they were just before even getting birth. So they are connected, they are born, and they have said, okay, you're married to this boy, like that. So they had a mutual understanding with the neighborhood king. So she didn't have any other choice. So she had to think about it. How do I escape from all these things? And then one night, what she did was, she was very young, maybe around 4 or 5 years old or something. And then all she did was, I cannot contemplate on leaving without the Supreme Lord. I'm going to jump, die, or run away. So she said by doing that, she put a thread, as sort of a cloth hanger. She jumped into the garden and she ran. She ran without knowing which direction she is running. She ran almost like maybe around for the whole night she was running and she was exhausted. She went in such a manner, then by the morning, the father came to know that this particular situation has occurred. The daughter has escaped from the bedroom. And this guy said, no, nothing doing. She has to come back. She has to get married. I've already put a promise to the neighboring king. What will happen to my status? I have to somehow capture and bring her back. So saying, king sent all his important army people and for searching around. So the search party also ran behind in whatever directions. But they had an inclination that this girl might have gone towards south. So we are talking about in Rajasthan, which is in the west north of India, and towards coming to the south is towards the Delhi area. So then somehow or the other they started searching, and then because she was a child, she could not run very fast much compared to the others. So maybe around 20-30 kilometers, somehow she managed to cover. And that particular point of time, she came to know that feeling of that there were some people searching for her and coming back. So she also ran as much she could, but after some time she could not. So she got really tired and exhausted. So she could not find a place to hide. Where would she? It's a forest, but still, somehow or the other, the Lord in the heart was telling her, go and take shelter, go and take shelter. So then she searched for any place. She did not find it. So finally she found a dead camel. The dead camel was just lying there. And interestingly, once the camel dies, there are a lot of fox, hyena, and jackals and all that. What they do is they drill a hole and take out all the flesh from the camel. So basically, you will have a skeleton and you will have the top hide. So she went inside that and she hid herself. And she hid like that. These soldiers came searching out. And they came. In fact, they were just standing outside this camel. But since the stink was so hard, they thought that who on earth will go inside and sit there, right? And then they waited for some time and saw that it's not going to happen, and they went back. She came out of this after 2 days of staying without food, anything inside this place. I can't imagine, or anyone can imagine. 2 days inside a dead, rotten camel, dead body. And she was inside for 2 days. And then she came out, very closely monitoring that there is no one nearby. And then she came out. And then she started running again. She ran, and she came to a place thinking that this is Vrindavan. But it was not Vrindavan yet. It was Mathura. But in those days, it was a massive forest. Vrindavana means really a vana, means a big forest. It's a dense, thick forest. Nowadays, there is so much of, it's only concrete and nothing much. There are some places in deep levels of Brajabhumi, you will still find that dense forest areas. But however, more or less, it's all many devotees and many villages, and they are occupied in different places and all that. So, but then she somehow reached Mathura, and after that, she slowly moved towards Vrindavan just by the smell of Tulsi. So she went there slowly, she went, and she was just 5 years old maybe. So she just went and took shelter of one of the trees. Just below the tree, she was just lying down. And she used to go to bath in Yamuna, because there was a stream of river which is going. So it's natural in India to take bath. So see the determination of the devotee. So when Prabhupada explains here, the devotees are congratulated for being successful simply because a sent person devotee is immune to the dreadful situations or the material miseries of repeated birth and death. This great devotee of the Lord should completely took shelter of Vrindavan. She did not even see Krishna till now. She is far away from that. She took shelter of Vrindadevi. She took the shelter of one of the trees in Vrindavan, and she took the shelter of Yamuna. She could find whatever she could find, she could eat. This message came to the devotees in Mathura, because Mathura and Vrindavan is almost like 17 to 20 kilometers distance. They came to know that there is one girl, very young in its nature, that she is in that place. So then the villagers slowly brought some prasadam and something to feed her. She was so austere, she did not bother about anything. But she was very scared that when she exposed herself to these devotees, this message could somehow or the other reach her father, and then the father will send the soldiers again to capture her. But somehow Krishna in the heart of the devotee, Krishna in the heart of the other living entities, Krishna always protected her in such a manner that she became such a great example of resolute determination to serve. And this is a great folklore in Rajasthan. Everyone knows about Mirabai. Many people also know about Karmetiba. So why I said this pastime is because Krishna is very clear in his words and promise. If we accept him as the Supreme Lord and he is our one and only soul shelter, If we simply take his shelter at his lotus feet, we don't have to work hard. That's the stop point. We should never even have one iota of doubt lingering in our hearts, in our minds, thinking that Krishna, will he help? Or is he going to give more test? Is it going to be me or it's someone else? Should I use my intelligence? What kind of life I need to lead? That's short-sightedness. That's what Prabhupada says. It's not a great thing, right? See, for example, Prahlad Maharaj. We are actually coming to the closest point of Narasimha Chaturdasi on our annual celebration, right? Prahlad Maharaj. What a determination. Can we imagine 5-year-old kid going through so much of austerity, so much of tolerance, patience, perseverance, so much of negativity all around him. But imagine the amount of impact pounded left, right, and center by his own atheistic father, right? See how strong and determined the execution of devotion service he could go through. No one likes, none of us like to do devotional practice. None of us like to like to come and sit and chant with the devotees. No one likes to come on a Sunday morning. Why will I get up at morning at 7 o'clock and then, oh my God, oh, these guys are sending messages. Chaitanya Prabhu is bombarding WhatsApp. Every nook and corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever forum is there, please come and join. Sushant says this, Sushant says that, Sukava Mataji says, please join. What is this? Why are they pounding us so much with all these kind of spamming messages left, right, and center, right? But understand it. This is the costless grace the Lord is not giving, but the devotees of the Lord is giving. You have been given a chance to wake up. Jeev jago, Gora Chand bole, right? Sleeping souls, please get up. Which Maya is actually catching up and ready. She is doing a beautiful massage onto your leg. And she is ensuring that you don't get up at all. You don't want to enjoy the royal Krishna conscious element, but you would want to enjoy your royal sleep element, right? This is the impact on all of us. This is one lifetime. Prabhupada says, you all give one lifetime to Krishna. This life is for Krishna. So we need to actually take these beautiful messages, these lessons from great devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Kunti Maharani, right? Extraordinary rich. Richness is not the word for them. They had every single thing in their disposal. They had everything, right? Mirabai, for that matter, she is also super rich. You name all these great devotees, they had everything on their disposal. But what did they think of? Only determined to serve Krishna in the devotional practice, right? Prahlad Maharaj only wanted to serve Lord Narasimha. And he was all the time telling his father, oh, the best of the atheists, of the Daityas, demons, of all the demons, you are the topmost, but you are the most atheist. Can you imagine a son telling straight to his father back without even cracking a single softness? He is just blasting his father that you are the topmost of atheists. You are a maha nonsense. Which son can tell it to the father, right? This is how Prahlad Maharaj actually explains it in the 7th canto, right? Srila Prabhupada, so much of zeal, so much of enthusiasm at so old age. He did not bother to stay and sit in Radha Damodar. We saw the photos sent by Bharti Mataji about Radha Damodar's temple, where Prabhupada's quarters are. Still now it is there. Such a beautiful place. This is an amazing place. 64 samadhis of the saints of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is there. And there, the entire consciousness is of a different level. Everyone should, at least in their lifetime, should go to these places and just simply soak yourself with the pure love of Krishna consciousness. And here is a wonderful example for us in this particular verse. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita the same concept, right? He says that anyone who does a little service to him, you will be completely pleased. You'll be sold. You'll help the living entity to elevate to the highest possible position, right? We need to understand first one thing. We need to capture ourselves with some good traits. We can, it's possible. How to capture it? Of course, it's a different session altogether. But certainly, if we can keep some small steps towards the goal to achieve the concept, understanding the concept that devotional practice is key for a success in our lifetime, Lord Chaitanya will definitely take us to his lotus feet. what to speak that he delivered Jagadananda and Madhavananda, Jaga and Madai. He delivered the most fallen and sinful personalities in the times of Lord Chaitanya. But Krishna is so kind. Lord Chaitanya is so kind. And he is not bothered about who is against him, who is envious against him, who is this, who is that. He is giving in free flow, right? So the key for success on all these aspects of our spiritual practice is we have to be with the devotees, practice with devotees. Do not do it alone. Associate with devotees. Keep all the time with the devotees. Keep your faith stronger and stronger by simply chanting the holy name of Sri Krishna. Prabhupada has given us that is the maximum value add proposition of chanting the holy name one can get by in the spiritual realm. This spiritual realm, the mantra is coming from the spiritual realm. So we are here sitting far away from the spiritual realm. And still we are getting the same benefit by simply chanting the holy name of Krishna. Prabhupada built this beautiful house, ISKCON, right? Where we can all learn how to cry for Krishna. If we don't know, we should start learning it. There are wonderful devotees, their prayers. Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, right? Great Vaishnavas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, their beautiful poems, their beautiful slokas, which is the highest epitome of our Krishna conscious living, right? We should consider one thing, we are never free in this world. That is for sure. And we can think, and we should not think that we can escape by not doing any service or not associating with the devotees. Our batteries will simply drain so fast that we don't even come to know of that it's drained. Every week, without fail, we need to associate. At least if you can't do it on Sunday. Take it as an austerity. Take it as a love for Krishna. Take it as your own purification. There is no other choice. You can do anything you want in this world. But I'll tell you for sure, all this is going to go down the drain. Only thing which will sustain, will exist, is our practice of Krishna consciousness, which will come to our help at the point of our leaving this body. There is no other choice for us. This is the highest need of the hour and necessity for our existence. If we don't want to get there, we are completely missing something most essential ingredient in our elixir of life. Just like any food prepared without a pinch of salt is a maha waste, right? No one likes to eat a food without a salt. Even someone who's got high cholesterol and all that, they will always still ask, can you put a pinch of salt, right? Now, don't tell that it's not a big thing for me. No. Shastras explain this. Our goal of life is to only become a humble, simple servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to grab with both the hands. How to achieve this? State of consistent measure of being God-centric person rather than God-fearing person, but like a God-loving person, is by practicing with the devotees. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Hoy, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. These are most vividly explained by the sages. Now, they are so contemplative, they are so far-sighted. They know that what's going to happen in this Kali Yuga, right? All these Kali Yuga brains, we are all Kali Yuga rejects. We are not at all even considered as human beings. We are considered as two-legged, four-legged, two hands, four hands kind of an animals. Because we don't have the concept of what human being is supposed to be, right? We are not at all determined to become a human. First of all, we are at the level of animal level. So we need to come to the level of human level. So then this is all meant by the sages, only meant for our benefit. Very well in advance. So Srimad Bhagavatam is a sugar-coated, beautiful antibiotic for our life, which is actually ebbing away in this diseased condition. The more you take the antibiotics, all kinds of inabilities will go off, and then there is going to be many levels of good stability coming into your system. The cure for our disease state, right? Shloka is beautifully explained. There is a beautiful shloka on this. Sarva, what is this? It's a very beautiful shloka. It says, Sarva upadi vinirmuktam. Sarva upadhi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesa sevanam bhakti ruttam. Right? All kinds of upadhi, all kinds of difficulties, all kinds of diseased state will simply run away simply by taking the shelter of the Supreme Lord. Rishikena rishikesa sevanam bhakti ruttam uchate. It will go to the Lord's lotus feet. Automatically we can become more and more Krishna centric, more and more conscious about what we do and how we can elaborate ourselves, not just by getting this benefit to us, also to give it to others. Because we have got a lot of programs coming up in the summer. We want everyone to become more enthusiastic. Do not feel low. You should be enthusiastically participating in all these programs. Why? Because this is what we are supposed to be doing. The more we do this, Krishna is very kind to us. He is going to actually give us more good things coming our way, right? Not everyone gets good things. They get it by luck or a stroke of some kind of a goodness. But we get it logically presented to us. So Krishna is very kind. He will ensure. Anyone does little bit of service, right? They'll be taken care by the Supreme Lord. That's guaranteed by Srila Prabhupada. We go by Sadhu, Shastra and Guru's principles. Then our life is successful. So this particular verse is one of the important verse. The Shastras are explaining that this is very, very important for the reason that this guarantees 100% immunity, 100% immunity for a devotee from the deathful repetition of birth and death, right? So please meditate on this verse. Please meditate on Srimad Bhagavatam. As much as possible, you can deep dive. Those who don't have Srimad Bhagavatam, please message Chaitanya Prabhu or Sukha Mataji or Pratap Maya Prabhu. We will ensure that you get your Bhagavatam set, and this is extremely, extremely important. Everyone should have a Bhagavatam set in their house. Why? Because you are bringing the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself into your house. The amount of Krishna conscious element you cannot contemplate on just by simply bringing Krishna conscious practice in your life and bringing Srimad Bhagavatam in your life. It will change. It is a complete, guaranteed, resolute change in your consciousness, in your revolutionary thoughts of practicing Krishna's lifestyle altogether. I'll stop here. If there is any questions, I'm please happy to answer any reflections, any other add-ons. Most welcome.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. That was such an inspiring class, and it wakes me up as well. Forget everybody else, but we need to focus more on Krishna. I know in this material world it is very difficult to focus on Krishna, and sometimes we find it so hard. So if you can just help us to, be more on the devotional path. I mean, although we are entangled in this material activities, that'll be good. Thank you.
Yes, Mataji, what you're saying is true. It's not easy, but it is not difficult either. Because we have got a wonderful, already a beautiful platform which we have already in place. Srila Prabhupada has given us all that what we needed. We wanted devotees association, we can go to the holy dhams, we can be with the devotees, we can chant Hare Krishna, we can take Krishna Prasadam. These are essentials. If we can at least follow these levels and not give your association to, you need to give your association to others, not take the others' association to yours. Because we have to be exposed to working with people who are of a lower consciousness level. So we should not share simply, please keep dumping on me, I will keep accepting whatever you are. Your consciousness should be high. That means you should be strong in reading the Shastras. You should have a logical presence. You should always contemplate what is Krishna trying to tell us in this world. See, we should all be like, just like the lotus leaf example given in the Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam yuvambasi. Just like you are there as a water drop in a lotus leaf, can't stand there for more time. It just goes off. Why? Because it's already like a leaf which is coated with oil. Like that, we need to be as devotees of the Lord. Because we don't belong to this world. We are not this body. We are a spirit soul. We don't have anything to do with this world. We don't have anything with anyone else in this world. Our only relation is our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and the Supreme Lord himself and the devotees of the Lord, because they have the same single goal. The goal of life is to be with the devotees. The more you are connected with the devotees, dadadi pratigranati guhyamakyati prachati bhunte bhojate jeva sadvidi priti lakshanam. All these things are very essential. 6 types of very important steps which you have to take as an individual practitioner. You have to come to that level of understanding that you have to share happiness with the devotees, connect with the devotees, be with the devotees, share the thoughts with the devotees. Then automatically our Krishna conscious determination will go skyrocketing. Otherwise, it's very difficult, because we are spending more than around 10 hours with the people who don't believe in all this. You cannot go and tell your manager that I just read Srimad Bhagavatam, my guru, my Prabhu, our Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru, they all gave a beautiful lecture about this, and they say, what are you talking, man? Just get lost. Don't come near me, right? This is what they will say, because they are not interested to hear. 99.99% of the people in this world are all that category. That 0.1% is only the devotee segment. So why? Why? Because they don't want to. So Krishna says, okay, that's fine. You are being created like that. You've been given a chance to come back to me. You don't want to come. That's fine. But when be there, be in this place. Repeated birth and death. Why would you have to go through this process again and again, again and again? How many times? Bhutva bhutva praliyate. Every moment we are going through the same thing. But there is also some beautiful Bhagavad Gita shlokas. If you meditate and repeatedly say this, that will give you a very, very rigid, very strong determination for you to not bother, worry, or too much about your. Because otherwise, we'll get very disturbed by these thoughts. I need to work hard. I need to make money. I need to be this. My manager wants me this. Oh, who is getting more money than me? I'm working so hard. I'm not getting. Which company is giving me more money? These are not devotee thoughts. These are materialistic people's thoughts. All the time thinking about this. You can go and ask any person in your office. He is only going to talk about these 3 things. How do I make more money? How do I become the next manager? And where all I can do some day, what do you call? Moonlighting or daylighting or whatever. How can I make more money again and again? The idea is not that. Prabhupada is very clear. Shastras are very clear. Prabhupada is giving. Just day before yesterday, I heard from one devotee from Mayapur. She actually sends a bedtime stories about how powerful this attachments, how powerful is the resolute determination, how powerful is the weapon of contemplations, all these things. So she was giving an example. I'm just going through this. I will just, this is spoken by this is a story of power of association. That is the story. I don't want to tell and waste your times, because you all have a very important time to spend. That is a very nice story about power of association. So one time, I'll just give you the small story, and then you can probably, because you can, I'm sure many of you know about it. One time there was a very good sage, and he was all the time thinking about how to inspire himself and how to improve his meditation on the Supreme Lord. He was all the time meditating and very strongly practicing his Krishna conscious practice. As a sage, he's a nice person, no doubt about it. As a sage, he was doing it. So then, if anyone is doing good in that kind of a level, there is only one person who gets into a kind of jitteriness. Who is that? Anyone knows about it? Anyone who does something good like this, a sage is meditating strongly and he is really on a very high and sublime level. Only one person gets in the agitated mode. The only person is Indra. Right? Why Indra? Because he is scared of his position, that this Swamiji will probably jump into that that post because of his strength of practice, or you'll be wondering that what if this fellow is having some kind of thought that he wants a boon from Brahma or someone to overthrow him or anyone. So he's all the time agitated. He's not sure about it. So then what he did, Indra, as a practice, he will not wait and procrastinate like devotees do, which is wrong. Prabhupada says procrastination for a devotee is absolutely wrong. Right? What he does, he immediately said, okay, this is very, you have to nip it by the bud. So he said, okay, let me go. So he took a disguise of a hunter. He went to the sage and then he fell and put a dandavats, and then he asked, oh great sage, you are such a wonderful person. You know that you are the only savior of the entire world, and you are my savior also. I have to go and bring my wife. She's in another forest. So, but then I have got these weapons. I don't know who I can carry all the way there and come back. So what I suggested, I thought was that I will give this weapon to you, maybe like a knife or a sword or something, and then something to hold. And then he said he will give it to you. So then he gave it to the sage and said that I will be back in 10 days time. Within that period, I will come back. I'm just going and bringing her. Then I will take this in. So the sage also thought, okay, I'm doing a small service to this humanity. Let me also hold. So he took the weapon. He kept it in his house or room, whatever he had. And then he continued to do meditation. Somehow or the other, his meditation was not that strong as it was. After some time, then his meditation was on the weapons and not on a Supreme Lord. What he was thinking that what will happen to the weapons if I don't take care of it. So instead of going for a shower or a bath in the river, he used to carry the weapon with him, and then he used to go and continues to keep. So as 1 day, 2 day, 3 day progressed, right? Somehow or the other, by the power of the weapon or power of the thoughts, power of the mind, so he was consciously thinking of the weapon. After some time, he did not bother to keep the weapon sideways. He was holding the weapon and walking around. Then what he did, after some time, he thought, when I was a sage, I was walking with a japamala and a kamandalu, a water pot. And people did not even care about me, who I was. Now I am carrying a knife or a sword with me and something else in my hand. People are scared and they're giving me all the respect. So then what was his thought? His thought was not about Krishna. This is how the power of association. Just by the power of association of Indra's weapon, you can imagine. We have not come to that level because we are not the chosen one. That sage was a super high sage, not like us. Imagine our situation. We have managers, we have damagers, we have many people like this. So these are the people who are actually taking us away from Krishna. So, but the first and foremost thing which is taking away from Krishna, can anyone tell us?
Don't be with that person or the thing.
Not person. This
association.
It is imperson. It is our phone. All the time it is next to us, and it is making sure that we are not Krishna conscious. Whether it's WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is there, it is not allowing us. And there is a phone by name Samsung, right? What is Samsung? Sung means you are actually taking away. You are taking away. Sam means Americans are called Sam, right? Uncle Sam. So it is taking away from Krishna. Somehow or the other, we need to practice. We should say, thank you, Mr. Phone. I am not going to touch you for the next 2 hours because I have a personal appointment with the Supreme Lord. Sit and chant our holy name. Connect with the Lord. Then automatically the power of association of the Lord increases our conscious and quotient of our spiritual practice. That will help us. I'm sure you will agree to what I said, Mataji.
Perfectly. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That helps.
Yes. Okay. Is there any questions? If not, then it's good to stop and move to others.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept
Yes,
my
Prabhuji.
essences. All goes to Prabhupada. Thank you for a really nice class.
All goes to
My question, I guess, or comment could be, is that people, they listen to you and they listen to devotees and, they nod, they agree with everything. But actually to practice is, they're not able to put it into practice. They're scared of austerities. With Krishna consciousness comes a little bit of austerity. Yet you're saying that it's easy. But for a lot of people, it could be that they're scared of this diving into Krishna consciousness and then facing up to austerities. Austerities means something is going to be taken away from their life. They'd rather be on the phone, Facebooking, WhatsApping, watching YouTube, etc., etc. How can they, or how can we inspire them to sort of slowly come into Krishna consciousness and accept these austerities because they're good for them?
These are good austerities. These are not bad austerities. Krishna conscious austerities are good. For example, we know that taking prasadam is the highest austerity, right? You go to any devotee's house, he will feed you in such a manner that you will not have any, even little bit of air to breathe, because you would be stuffed with so much of prasadam. That's an austerity also. Prabhupada explains that austerities are on two levels. The first level of austerity is how much Krishna-centric you are going to be by your practice of that austerity, right? For example, Prahlad Maharaj, I gave the example of Prahlad Maharaj, or Dhruva Maharaj for that matter, or Kunti, or Devahuti. For many other great examples here, they took austerity on a different level, but we are not being asked to do it that level. What our austerities are meant is that we wanted to associate with sadhu sangha, sarva shastra hoy. We wanted someone whom we can discuss a lifestyle with, right? There are many societies, many people. They have their own set of people, and they their focus is to talk about their own subject matter. They don't encourage the participants, the members, right? In fact, you need to pay them to be a part of that membership. And what do? They do only focus-centered activities in such a manner that is going to help them to be what they want to be in this world, in this life. There are many examples of societies like Lions Club or Rotary Club or many other clubs. I'm sure that many other clubs are there in England as well, right? But that's not what is going to fetch us a life which is going to be full of happiness. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, ocean of bliss and happiness. But then our choice is between these two lines, right? It's a thin line, but it's also a thick line. The thin line is that, can we relinquish these people who are not interested to connect with the lifestyle which I am trying to learn and adapt myself with for that in this lifetime? The second, the thick line, is that what happens to me if I don't accept Krishna consciousness, and what happens to me if I accept Krishna consciousness? Will I lose my friends? Will I lose my relationships? Will I lose my contacts? Will I lose my circle of influence? Will I lose my practice of what I was doing it before? Or I will be discarded? Like, for example, I'll give my own example. First day I made it clear to my manager. I said, I am not a partying person. I will not come for your weekend drinks. Right? If you want me to connect with any important meetings, you have to call me in the office. I'll be there. I told it very clearly, right? My manager came at the end of the year and he said that you are not a socializing person. So that's one of the criteria for your promotion. I said, you are misjudging me from something which is personal in its nature. You cannot force and open my mouth and pour some drink on my mouth, right? I made it clear. That's a misjudgment. And the impact is going to be in your business. It's not for me. I will let lease this company, and I've got millions of companies in this. World is full of big and small fishes. I will go to another company, but you are misjudging yourself with this as a criteria for not giving me the rightful promotion which I'm entitled for. So then what happens, this thick line is actually very strongly binding us because of our past association, past connection, and past what do you call vasanas, means what do you call vasanas? Like it's like a wind, past winds coming our way, right? The Sanskrit term is vasana. So because of that, we don't want to let it go. We are feeling very internally, we are very scared. What will happen to me? I'll be a reject. I'll be a reject in that society. I want to be in the part of it. So we as practitioners or attempting practitioners, we are thinking that are we the right way? Is that the right way to reject that and completely accept this Krishna conscious society? Because if you connect to Krishna conscious society, you will not have all these things, right? In the old part, you will lose it, and that means you will lose many things in its nature. But those are material in its nature. But then our realization is that we are using our intelligence and not allowing Krishna to use his intelligence for us. We have an iota of doubt in the core of our heart that Krishna will not take care of us. He'll put us through the test which I'm not going to pass. Unfortunately, it's wrong thoughts. Krishna puts us through the test for the simple reason that he wants us to see how you do the test. But he's not bothered about the result, whether you pass or fail. You will always be a pass. Krishna's test, no one fails. And for example, Krishna is always thinking, he says, Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. We know that, but still we have that iota of doubt in the core of our heart, thinking that no, why? Because our past tidings. Every time someone has cheated us so badly, then where's the question of fruitfulness in the fruit? Everyone has taken us for granted, whether it's some saint or whether it's so-called cheating gurus. We have been cheated. Prabhupada says, if you want to get cheated, you will go to the cheater, right? You will go to the cheater. There is no other choice. But then how is it possible for us to overcome this kind of a turmoil which is going in between our two eyebrows? It is the mind which is actually dictating. It's not an intelligence. We are not using the intelligence of the Lord. Intelligence is higher than the mind. You need to allow your intelligence to act, not the mind to act. So then you know for sure how to express this to the others. First, you become serious practitioner. Neha Vikramanashasti Pratyavayu Navidyate Solpamapi Yasya Dharmasya Trayato Mato Bhayat. If Krishna is telling that you can do it, Krishna is telling you can do it. And Krishna is telling the same thing Prabhupada is telling, you can do it. But we are saying, I can't do it. Right? When we are convinced, yes, it's possible. I have seen this devotee coming out of this very difficult situation in his life. And he has gone back to garden. He has seen it. He is born. Someone very recently passed away on Ekadashi. How is it possible someone passing on Ekadashi? That's an exalted state of that devotee being. He was only around 17 years or 18 years old. He passed away on Ekadashi and he went back to garden. And impossible that you don't get a chance like this for a devotee of that nature. Unless until Krishna knows who this devotee is. Let's have that conviction. We had the conviction. Our mother had the conviction. Forget about our father. Our mother had the conviction that this boy will stand on his own leg. I am going to take care of him in whatever difficulty I am put through. We may not have our father, but the mother went all the way to different houses, washed the pots. She made that 100 rupees and she fed us. And today we are able to sit and stand on our own legs. How many of us have gone through this kind of turmoil just by our mother's care? I'm 100% sure if you touch your heart, you will have that feeling. I have personally gone through. Not that my mother went outside to work, but what she did was she took care of me every moment. And she knew that I will come out in flying colors. And every parents have done that sacrifice. And for them, we need to become Krishna conscious. And then we can deliver them. Prabhupada explains that one person in a family who becomes initiated, the entire 14 generations is getting a chance to go back to garden this lifetime. Even if your forefathers are misled somewhere or the other, and this is possible. So let's not bother about who the other set of the people is. Let's not bother about the thick line. Let's bother about the thin line. Then when the connection is stronger with the Paramatma, then the Lord will automatically change them. It's just a matter of time. Till then, let's give them some nice Krishna Prasadam, offer some cookies, offer some cakes, offer some breads, make some nice offerings. And when you're taking charity with them, that will change. You need to revolutionize them inside out, not outside inside. Agreed, Prabhu?
Yes, very much so. Thank you so much.
No worries, Prabhu. Yes. Yeah, this is a challenging subject matter because every one of us are going through this. Every single devotee has to go through this.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's not new. I personally have this kind of feeling that sometimes I feel that I sort of rejected my own relatives. Why? Because they were not willing to. They were Krishna conscious in their own element. But I wanted them to follow the practice what the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is wanting to follow. Right? So then I cannot practice with them because they have their own set of likes and dislikes. They have their own set of decisions. Why will I want to disturb them? Krishna again says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Mind your business. Don't bother about others' business. You bother your business. You become Krishna-centric. And then slowly you develop that Krishna conscious by your example so that the others follow you. Right? That is what is wanted. Just by your following, you being a good example to your own family, you are actually inspiring 5 more people in your family to follow. And that 5 more people are going to inspire others to follow. This is the Prabhupada's mode of propaganda. It's by word to mouth, by the seeing the practice. Otherwise, how is this International Society of Krishna Consciousness is only handful. Less than 500,000 devotees are there in this planet. But how much is the population? Billions. How many devotees are there? And have we covered all the different countries in the entire globe? Far from it. We are scratching only the surface. We are not even gone nearby anywhere. But if we are practicing, Krishna will be happy. Yasmin tushte jagat tushna. When Krishna is pleased, entire cosmos is pleased. Let's be a small example in that practice program. This is what is Bhakta program is all about. We practice, we make others practice by what we are seeing. Right?
True, very true, Prabhu. Very true. Yeah, thank you. That all makes very good sense. Thank you for nice answer as well.
Yes,
very good.
Prabhu. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. All right, so we will stop here. Sukha Mataji, over to you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Nilambar Prabhu, for a good question, and thank you for answer. Yeah. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I can only request everyone to think about program, what we are going to do on Narsimha Chaturdasi. So please think what you can offer as a service. And Pratap Mahaprabhu is here. Pratap Mahaprabhu, do you have any announcement?
Hare Krishna Maji. Yes, we got a few announcements. Thank you, Vishal Gauranga Prabhu, for another wonderful class. Very enlightening. Thank you. So on Monday, so we got 3 announcements for this week. On Monday, bank holiday, so that's tomorrow, there's a 6-hour kirtan on Bournemouth Beach. It's the first one from that yatra. So we've got kirtaniers heading to Bournemouth for the day from 12 noon to 6 p.m. That's tomorrow. On Tuesday, the 3rd of May, is Akshaya Tritiya. So on this day, it's most auspicious to start a project or any effort. The benefits are eternal. So on this day, the Ganges descended to earth. It's the start of Satya Yuga. It's the appearance day of Parashuram, the day of the pastime between Krishna and Sudama. Many auspicious things on this day of Tuesday. So it's considered that there's no, it's not needed to check muhurtas on this day of Akshaya Tritiya because every moment is auspicious. So please consider engaging in more devotional service on this day or starting any spiritual projects for the pleasure of the Lord on this day because the benefit will be eternal. So that's on Tuesday. And then the date for Narsimha Chaturdashi will be the Sunday, the 15th of May. And that's 11 a.m.
Pratap Prabhu, I just wanted to quickly announce one thing.
Yes,
a couple of devotees have asked me that question of that there is a solar eclipse today. The answer to that is it is partial eclipse, but that's nothing to do with UK and India. It's got only to do with the south central part of United States. So we don't have to worry about it or fasting on all this. So you don't have to do anything extra on this. So solar eclipse is not going to impact us.